Hello students, in today's video lecture, we'll enjoy a story from the second book, Footprint Without Feet, and the name of the chapter is The Thief's Story. The story of a thief. So there is a starting line written here for you. In the story, the background says, a young boy, he makes friendship with Anil. Anil trusts him completely and employs him as his helping hand in his home. Does the boy betray his trust or not? For this, we will have to read the story well. So let's proceed. Before we read the story, there are some questions for us to find out. Who does I refer to in this story? Like in the first line, you can see I. So who does I refer here? Second, what is he a fairly successful hand at? Means at what trade he is a fairly successful hand. Third, what does he get from Anil in return for his work? So what is his outcomings of doing his service in the Anil's house? So we'll have to find out this all in the first part of the story. We'll complete the story in two parts. The story is written in first person as the writer writes I for himself. The narrator is in the story and he is a part of story. I was still a thief means the narrator, when he himself is a character in the story, and when he writes it he was a thief till then. And though and then the thief in the story is only of 15 years, as he says he was only 15, but I was an experienced and fairly successful hand. Fairly successful hand means having expert in doing something. We have to find it out what he was fairly successful hand at. So you may guess it, as the title of the story suggests, he must be fairly successful hand at stealing the things. So Anil was watching a wrestling match, means when the narrator of the story, that thief, went to meet Anil, that time Anil was watching a wrestling match when the thief approached to him. The person means Anil was about 25 years old, a tall, lean fellow. Lean means thin. And he looked easygoing means one can easily win his trust. Means he was a person to be made believe very easily. Kind enough and simple enough for my purpose. Whose purpose? The thief's purpose. And what was his purpose? You know it very well. Of stealing, of robbing him. I hadn't had much luck of late and thought I might be able to get into the young man's confidence. That young man is 25-year-old person Anil. Means the thief, we can make one very important thing about the thief, that he is a very smart fellow. Though he is of 15 years old only, but he is very good at winning people's heart and making friendship. That's why, to win their trust. And he is good at flattery as well. That's what he says to Anil when he sees Anil. You look a bit of wrestler yourself, the thief said. A little flattery would help him in making friends. So he said to Anil that Anil looks like a wrestler, though it was not so. You can see in picture as well that Anil is not looking like a wrestler. But he says this, and he himself says that a flattery would help him. So do you. Who said this? Miss Anil said. The same answer was given to thief. That means you also look like a wrestler. Which put me off for a moment, because at the time I was rather thin and he was little awkward. He was little abashed, as he was not that much having that kind of personality like a wrestler. Well, I said modestly. Modest means polite. What? I do wrestle a bit. He said, I also do wrestling. What's your name? Who asked this question? Anil asked this question to Thief, and Thief said, Hari Singh. He lied. Thief says that he lied here. Means he spoke lie, not the truth. He gave his wrong name there. He was actually not Hari Singh. And he says, I took a new name every month. It's a very important thing to be noted about him, that he says he keep changing his names and identity just to dodge the police people and not to be identified. That keep him ahead of thief, of police, and from his former employers. Means the people where he does earlier work and he steals them. So changing identity would help him, and definitely it helped him a lot. After this introduction, Anil talked about the well oiled wrestlers. Well oiled means the people who rub their skin by means with oil and all. Means then he asked, because he said I also have interest in wrestling. So Anil asked about something about wrestling. Lifting and throwing each other about. Grunting means making some sound while fighting. So grunting, lifting means they talked about well trained wrestlers those days. I didn't have much to say. Anil walked away and he followed the Anil casually. Hello again, he said. I gave him my most appealing smile. So this most appealing smile actually is not the true smile. This is just to make him pray of him, make him friend. I want to work for you, I said, but I can't pay you. He said, I want to work for you and I can't even pay for you. Then I thought that over for a minute, perhaps I had misjudged my man. And he says that he misjudged a man means who was so kind by asking this question. He asked him this question, that will you give me any job? And he well knew from his side that he was a kind person. So it was quite injustice to ask such question to such honest fellow. So here the narrator says that he thought for a bit and he thought that he actually misjudged his man, means he asked this question to a wrong person. Then he asked again, can you feed me? And he asked him that, can you cook? Means Anil asked him if he can cook, he would feed him. I can cook, I lied again. And he's again second or third many times he spoke everything that is not actually true. He said I can cook, but actually he could not cook. If you can cook, then maybe I can feed you. He said that if you can cook, he would feed him. So he took me to his room over the Jumna sweet shop and told me, means the narrator of the story, thief, that he could sleep on the balcony. But the meal he cooked that night was very terrible, because Anil gave it to stray dog. One can make it out how the food was, because he gave it to stray dogs. So it was not one can eat. But I just hung around. Hung around means keep loitering. Hung around means keep loitering around him, smiling in his most appealing way, and that was just to flatter. And he couldn't help laughing. Couldn't help means couldn't stop. Couldn't help means couldn't stop laughing. Means who laughed at him, his behavior? Anil. Later, he petted on him and said, never mind. He would teach him, means thief, how to cook. So he also taught him writing his names and said that he would teach him write whole sentences and to add numbers as well as. I was grateful means thankful, means thief says that he was thankful for him, and there was no limit that he could achieve. So it says that he was a rather bright fellow as well as, and he could guess his future over there. As he says that there was no limit that he could achieve, means he well knew this, that he could earn money, he could learn how to prepare meal, and he could even learn how to make sentences and study. So he knew his fate well with Anil. It was quite pleasant morning walking for Anil, and I made the tea. Means the narrator made the tea for him morning, and then he would take his time buying the day's supplies. Day's supplies means his daily purchases would be done by thief, the narrator of the story. And thieves are thieves by their instinct, by their nature. And he say himself says that I think he would make a profit of about a rupee a day. And I think he knew, means Anil knew that he saved some money by daily such dealings. Anil made money by fits and starts. Fits and starts means not as a regular income. Sometime it comes, sometime the income was would not come for long many days. So by fits and start, not in a regular way. That it's a very good phrase again. He would borrow 1 week and lend the next. He keep walking about his next check, but as soon as it arrived, he would go out and celebrate. Means he was a very simple person, very open from his heart. So whenever he gets some meager amount of money, he would go and celebrate it. And it seems he wrote for magazine, and the thief could discover one more important thing, one more information about Anil here, and that was it seemed that he would read for magazine. And thief says that it was a queer way. Queer means strange. It means strange. It was a strange way to earn the living, because for thief writing is not a very simple task. Thieves would find writing a very complex kind of task. So that's why he says that it was a queer way to make a living, earning. One evening he came home with a small bundle of notes, saying he had just sold a book to publisher. And one evening, means his boss Anil came to home with a bundle of note, and the thief, you well know, thief has his eye always on money. So he would see this, and he saw where the bundle is kept. And he, means Anil, being very honest, very simple fellow, he told him everything, that he sold a book to a publisher and he could get this money. At night, narrator says that he saw him tuck the money. Tuck means putting it, just pushing it under the mattress. Thief saw it all, because he was waiting for such an opportunity for a long time. I had been working for Anil for almost a month. It had been at least 1 month. And apart from cheating on the shopping, means he himself says that apart from earning by cheating him on shopping, he had not done anything in his line of work. Means his, what is his line of work? You know it very well. Stealing the things. That is his only line of work. So he says, I had every opportunity for doing so. Anil had given me a key to the door. Anil was such a simple fellow, and what I feel about reading this, Anil knew very well about the intentions of the thief, but still he forgives him. And even after knowing all this about the person, because Anil was more mature, more uh, mature than the thief, definitely he must have known it. What, for what purpose the thief had come to him, for what purpose he may be giving him this appealing look, and he was ready to do everything. So, but even after knowing this all, he trusted him and he gave him the very important thing, that he said, giving him the key to the door, and I could come and go as I please whenever he wishes. And he says that the thief himself says this line. It's very strange to find that he was the most trusting person I have ever. He met with several of people in this line of work and this line of business, that stealing the people. He go to new people, subs for some time, and then steals money and run away. So that was his daily course. But he himself says that the people he whom he deceived, people whom he robbed, he was the only person he saw that the most trusting person he had ever met. And that is why it was so difficult. Again, very specific line, Anil, thief himself says that it was very difficult to rob a person who was most trusting. You cannot uh, you cannot steal a person's money who believes you the most. So it's easy to rob a greedy man because he can afford to be robbed. They can offer they can afford it to be robbed. It's difficult to rob a careless man again, but sometimes he doesn't even notice. So he says that it was difficult to steal a person who is careless, and he is referring to his master Anil here. And he says that the thief says that sometime even he hardly noticed that he had been robbed. Whenever he steals some money, 10 rupees, 5 rupees, he would hardly bother for it. And he says in the last line in this paragraph that it takes all the pleasure out of the work. The work means the thing you steal someone's money, you see the tension, the stress on their forehead. It gives a unique kind of um, pleasure to the thief. But here he says that even it takes away all the pleasure when he see that Anil was not bothered about any small things when they are being missed. Well, it's time I did some real work. I told myself I am out of practice. And this time he says to himself that if he would not rob the money this today, as he saw the master to tuck some bundle of money under some mattress, he says if he would not do this, he would be out of practice. He will forget to do the stealing. And if I don't take the money the second, there are 2 points he actually finds two good reasons for stealing. Number one, he will be out of practice, and number two, if he would not take the money, definitely his master will waste it on his friends. After all, he doesn't even pay him. Pay him means pay to the thief. So he got two good reasons. Number one, if he would not steal the money, he will be after someday out of practice. Number two, if he will not keep this money for his purpose, his master would simply go and enjoy it with his friends. He would not use it very useful way. So these are the two reasons he finds. So we'll do the next part in next video lecture, next other day. Please watch this video carefully and find out above 3 questions and practice some more exercise questions. Thank you.